to you by Addis Ababa City Government Education Bureau in collaboration with Addis Media Network. This is English for Grade 8. The presenter is Mr. Seifu. Our lesson topic for today, that is Unit 10, Computer Technology. That is the part of speaking. So before I proceed today's lesson topic, I would like to remind you what we learned in the previous lesson. That was lesson 27. You remember, that was a very interesting lesson that we learned last time with that about conditionals. We have been doing a lot of exercises, especially regarding type 1 conditionals. So don't forget that those pair of words that I was trying to give you as a sample example in order to practice type 1 conditionals. So, when it comes to the case of conditional types in both cases, right, you have to be or remember about the two kinds of conditionals and their forms too. So, type 1 conditional tense, right, there is if plus subject, and there is a verb, and then there's object. And then in the case of the main clause, don't forget that there is a subject, will plus, that is a V1. So, okay, verb 1 in the case of the if clause part, and then in the main clause part, will plus that is V1 that is possible. Not only will, the students can also possible there, right? May also that is possible where, there. You are welcome to practice those verbs that we did when we were practicing in the case of type 1 conditional tense. When it comes to the second type of conditional, that was type 2 conditional tense. So don't forget that type 2 conditional tense has its own forms too. To remind you again, those verbs, pair of verbs that kept in your mind that we studied in the case of type 1 should be applied here now. Let me remind you the form, what it seems or what it looks like. If plus subject plus verb 2, not verb 1, verb 2, please, in the case of the if clause part. When it goes in the case of main clause part is, right, there is would plus V1, would, W-O-U-L-D, plus that is V1. That has to be kept. Therefore, their function is just to show that present and that is future in the case of type 2 conditional tense. The other one is you have to bear in mind that, right, we can use the main clause at the beginning of the sentence. Yeah, the position is possible. You are welcome to change, but be careful that, right, not to miss the meaning, what it is. Right? Meaning may change, yeah, some situations so as to make an complete and meaningful ideas. So you are welcome to practice some of the pair of words that you have taken in your notebook and then practice the type 2 conditional sentences. Hopefully that you learned a lot about the previous lesson, that was Unit 27, that was the part of the grammar. Now we are welcome to go to, that is Unit 10, Computer Technology. Unit 10, it's a very interesting topic. Computer Technology. What about the lesson? This is lesson 28. The part of the lesson that is speaking. Good. What are you going to do in this lesson? I would like to make you familiar the objectives of this lesson. You are welcome to compare and contrast. You see, comparison, compare and contrast. We are going to familiar with some of the expressions that make as compare and contrast. Compare and contrast. What do you mean by that, compare? You see? Come on, students. Compare did that. If you want to talk about similarity. Similarity of what? Similarity of situations. Similarities of what? Ideas. Similarities of different issues. So, computer technology, that is a part of that Unit 10, Lesson 28. Speaking, we have to talk about how to compare things, events, situations with different kinds of what? Comparative words or expressions. So, if you can trust me in that, right? Difference of ideas again. Difference of what? Ideas. Difference of situations. Difference of feelings. Yeah. Lot of things can be expressed by this kind of language structure. That is compare and contrast. Very interesting. Let's go and see separately the two kinds of situation and compare and contrast. So before that, let me go and ask you that. How do you compare your friends at school? You are welcome to talk about the similarity of your friends in different ways. Maybe you are welcome to express your students' or friends' feelings based on their age, yeah? Based on their what? Class-wise, right? Classroom. And based on their feelings, maybe, right? And based on their emotions, you are welcome to express your friends to talk about their similarity. The same is true when it comes to contrasting, that is different. Yeah? So different can be also expressed in different ways. So maybe according to your age. Your age is different from your friend's age or your cousin's age, etc. Therefore, I would like to show you that very simple and interesting expressions that are available in your English textbook, and then we shall practice them now. Thank you. Are you ready? Good. Let's go compare, okay? Compare. What? One similarity. One similarity. Look, one similarity is a very interesting, right? Expression. Another similarity. Still now they are comparing. I'm talking about similar situations. Both. Like. Right? Likewise. Similarly. Similarly. Look at these expressions. One similarity, another similarity, both, like, likewise, and similarly. Very nice. Do you know, I think ducks and, you see, cats, they are pet animals, right? Very good. Let's go and make one sentence with the word or the expression one similarity. Right. One similarity of dogs and cats is they are pet animals, aren't they? Yeah. Pet animals. The animals which live with the people. One similarity of dogs and cats is they are pet animals. Right? Therefore, what makes them similar is that they both are what? Pet animals. This is the way to make them similar in every context. All right, let's go and yes, right. Another similarity of dogs and cats is they are what? Flesh eaters. Exactly. They are both. They are flesh eaters, meat eaters, aren't they? Yes, they are. Okay, let's go on do with birds. Birds are, I'm talking about, don't forget that, dogs and cats. Both are what? Live with the people. Okay? I would like to add some other examples with context of boys, girls, and both girls and boys are equally treated at school. This is another one. It's not necessarily to make one sentence on it, right? Good. Like, right? My brother, my sister is a very intelligent student. Look, their similarity. Like my brother, my sister is a very intelligent student. This means that they are both intelligent. Okay. The other one that is likewise, my mother, my father also serves in the kitchen. You see? Likewise, my mother, my father also serves in the kitchen. Means still now he's sharing the burden of my mother. That's it. Okay. Right. Let's go and make sentence with similarly. Right. Our football is encouraging. Similarly, okay, as the athlete sport rewarded. Maybe. That's good. Our football is encouraging. Similarly, our the athlete sport be rewarded. You see? Similarly, they are all, that means here now encouraging, we have to encourage our football at the same time as if we are rewarding or encouraging the athletes, the football also be encouraged. This is what I mean that. Right? The same is true. Similarly, mean that when something or the situation that is in equal condition. Good. Very interesting one. Now let's go to the comparison. Before that, would you like to give me one sample example, please? Let me give you some activities regarding activity. Right? Yeah. One similarity. Another similarity, like birds. Let me give you some minutes, 10 minutes, and welcome to complete your jobs. 2 minutes only. Very good. Yeah, these expressions are lying on about comparison, comparing. That means similarity. So the examples that I have given you so far, you are welcome. Just think about any kind of situation. Yeah? It's maybe the situation at home, it's maybe the situation at school, or whatever it is. Just try to make some sentences of your own. Good. Yeah, you're welcome to share to your friends. Have you done it? I'm sure that when you are practicing these expressions day to day, yeah, you'll be smart. Yeah. But it needs what? Practicing. You have to exercise them. Yeah, you have to speak these expressions in your day-to-day classroom language. Have you got me? Yeah, in order to ask questions. Yeah, in order to communicate with the teachers. In order to communicate with your friends too. If that is a medium of instruction, that's English in your classrooms. Good. Interesting. Now you are welcome. So, shall I do my own? Thank you very much. Good. One similarity of, okay, my friend with me is that we both have the same name. That's it. Yeah. If your name is that is Jonathan, your friend names also that is Jonathan. The same is true. Your friend's name is that is Samira, your friend's name also be that is Samira. Your friend's name is that is Tolosa, same is true to your friend still. Very interesting one. So I hope that you are welcome, and to finish the rest of the others, so let's go to the next part of the lesson, that is contrasts. Contrast. What do you mean by that, contrast? Contrasts are, right? The name implies that is difference, right? Difference, right? It's a difference. It's a difference of something. It's maybe age, maybe a situation, blah, 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 etc. As I have just done so far, I would like to list down some of the common expressions, right, that we have to know in our day-to-day language. The first one that is unlike. Good. And then conversely. Another difference. All right, one difference. Good. In contrast. That is whereas. That is while. Good. Let's go and try to practice. Unlike, the difference by itself implies that. Look at sentences that we have studied so far in the previous lesson about prefixes. You remember? Yeah, before the word like, there is what? UN. UN shows that is a difference. Unlike. Okay? Unlike. So what do you mean by that? Unlike. Let's go and practice the meaning of the word unlike with different contexts. Okay? Good. You see? Unlike birds which have feathers, bats have fur. Yeah, fur and wings. Good. Unlike birds which have feathers, bats have fur. Yeah. Feathers, there's a difference. It's okay. Birds do have what? Feathers. Whereas bats do have that is fur. So this can be used in the same context. Right? Birds have Welcome. Birds have feathers. Conversely, bats have fur. Possible. Birds have feathers. Conversely, bats have fur. Still now, conversely is a contrasting what? Word or expression. Yeah, to show the difference of the two, what? Kinds of birds. All right. Another difference of birds, okay, fly in the daytime. But fly at night. Welcome. Very interesting one. Right? So one difference is that birds fly in the daytime, bats fly at night. Same. Good. Birds lay eggs. In contrast, bats give birth. Yeah. They do not lay eggs, in other words. Good. I like study my lesson alone, whereas my friend studies in group. Look, the difference. Right? I study alone by myself is what I mean that. Whereas my friend wants to study everything in group. This is a difference. Let's go, and that is why. Very nice. Good. My mother was, right, cooking while I was watching what? Movie. Different actions. And instead of supporting or helping your mom, you are doing it. This is another action. So, these contrasting devices or expressions are very important to talk about any kind of issue that you like. Yeah? Regarding situations, regarding events, to talk about your friends, to talk about the subjects, yeah? And also talk about any kind of situations at home or wherever you like. So, they are so simple. You are welcome to use very simple examples that I have tried to show you that. If you are doing and practicing at home, I'm sure that you'll become so smart, using of the language in the right way. Very interesting one. Let's go and do some of the activities regarding this one. Let's go. Activity. Let us practice Unlike. The situation is at your hand. Conversely, good. In contrast, interesting. And then whereas, what kind of expressions are these? Yes, you are right. These are contrasting expressions. Now I'd like to give you that 2 minutes in order to complete these activities. And then try to show to your friends as usual. And then just will give feedback what you have done and share to your friends. And then finally, I would like to put my own sentences. Take time. That's an interesting one. Good. Good try. Yeah, try to use very simple sentence, please. Very simple sentence. Only think about the situation that you are familiar about, right? At the same time, also think about any kind of subject at school, any kind of situations or activities at home or wherever it is, so as to make a simple sentence. Very interesting one. Good. I appreciate you. That's a wonderful one. Share it to it. Share it to each other. Come on, and take feedback. Very good. Now you are welcome. Our sentence may be that difference. Not only my sentence with you, but also your friend's sentence is different from yours. Different from. This is also another contrasting expression. Unlike. Good. Unlike. You see, football, basketball is what? Indoor games. Very nice. Are they both indoor games? No, they are not. Yeah. Unlike football, basketball is indoor games. They are not indoor games. They are outside. So, in other words, they are performing at the field. If you're doing, that's what I'm saying, that don't forget that you have to think about only the situation that you are common in your life or in your day-to-day activity, so as to practice these sentences. Good. My friend likes studying in the library. Conversely, I like studying under a tree. Look, my friend likes studying in the library. Conversely, I like studying under a tree. These are the common contexts, right? In contrast. Very nice. I am good at math. In contrast, my friend is good at English. Look, very simple context. You see? Very interesting. Let's go. Whereas, my sister is in grade 8, whereas I am in grade 7. See? Different class. My sister is in grade 8, whereas I am in grade 7. Good. Let's go. While, right, my teacher began his or her class, I was playing outside with my friends. These contexts are so easy, my students. So, in order to complete all these expressions that we have seen so far about comparison and contrast, try to use a very simple examples. Hopefully that you'll do some of the expressions that we have studied so far about comparison, and that is contrasting expressions, and try to practice and share to your friends. Okay, that's all, students. This is a lesson that we have seen so far. Till we meet next time, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Away from Morales, the chase is on for Elliott up against Villa. Villa won that chase and goes for goal. Oh, I say he's done it! Well, I've seen it, but I don't believe it.
You just can't draw this up. Jack